Guardians, the American League Central Division champions, now getting ready for the Wild Card Series. Take a look at this graph. When you look at it, it shows you the probabilities of the Guardians' chances of winning the American League Central. Back on July 13th, right around the All-Star break, they were given a 9.1% chance of winning the division. Then it went up, and then it went back down, and then again, less than 42, I think it was 40% chance at the beginning of September, this month, 3 weeks ago. And they end up clinching it yesterday, and they are the American League Central Division champs. And G. Bush, they played so many young guys. It's it's a credit to the organization. Everybody was beating them up for not going out and getting veterans, and they wanted to see what they had, and what they had was good enough to win the Central this year.
They always do this to us. They always do it. We be criticizing them, and I'll be the first one lining up. Be like, y'all didn't do. Why are you not going out to get anybody? Why did you trade this? But here's the thing: they gonna actually stop trading with the Guardians, because every time they go trade a big name person, they're getting back bona fide all-stars. They win every trade. It's crazy. Like Lindor had a great year, but look what they got back in return. They got an all-star in return, and on top of that, they got farm. I was talking to Jason Lloyd of The Athletic today. He said, "Hey, G. Bush, the messed up part about it is their best prospects is still in the minors. They have not even brought up all their talent yet, and still we are here, and they have won the Central." I'll give him credit, man. You look at what they're doing in other cities, Kansas City and Detroit. Those guys low-key lost their jobs because of what the front office for the Guardians can do. They're like, y'all got all this money to use. They payroll is minimal to none, and they're consistently churning out. They find pitchers out of nowhere. They one of the things about the Guardians that we thought was, they couldn't find any outfielders. We were like, we need a right fielder left. They found Quan. He's a guy who I didn't expect too much of, but they've consistently done those things. And they got Jose Ramirez to take less money. So they've overall, to me, I think their season came together when Bieber started throwing what more velocity, because I thought he was finished. His velocity was down. He was not looking like himself, and I said they need to hang their hat on that. But they rebounded with that. Tristan McKenzie's been pitching his tail off, and I'll tell you what, they got the best bullpen in the baseball moving right now, especially with having one of the better closers. So for me, this is a great opportunity for the Guardians to actually establish themselves. And they talk about attendance all the time. If they can win one series, I'm telling you, they'll get some new people behind them, because I believe they lost their last eight games in the playoffs. They got swept a couple years ago, the last time they were there. If they can get to the divisional round, I think that they can have a nice bump in attendance in terms of people in interest with this team.
Yeah, and you know what? They're going to be they're the kind of team that you just don't want to deal with, because they put pressure on you. They don't strike out. They put the ball in play. Their pitchers throw strikes. Now, they got to play from the lead, because they're not going to score 4 and 5 runs at a clip, because they got to string hits together usually. But they're a team that can be just kind of a pain to a higher seed.
Nobody want to play them. No one wants to play them, because they'll steal bases. They're going to be great defensively. They're going to be scrappy. They're not going to give up. And they do something. You said something that was very important. I almost did it. When the Guardians are playing with a lead, it's very difficult, because it reminds you what they used to have with Miller. You start counting down to like the 5th inning. And you say, well, listen, we get to 6th inning and we ain't got no runs and the sticks ain't going down. You start counting down. I only got one more at bat. You might have one possible at bat. But after that, if they up 3 runs, now you get tight. You're not swinging freely at the plate, and it can really put the vice grip on you, because if you do put the ball in play, they are one of the better defensive teams. So there's not a lot of gaps out there to find. So Yeah, their team, no one wants to play, given their pitching, and Tito's gonna make the right moves. He's gonna make a lot of moves that is gonna be advantageous to his team, and especially in tough spots.